Oh, okay. Brandi, this is your one of your stoichiometry problems that like one of the practice problems I found online. Um, and so if you get a problem like this, the first thing you always want to ask yourself is the equation balanced? And so um, you start off with like I know you know how to do it already, but just to work out through the entire problem. So we're gonna balance it first. And so you have Ag, right? Um, you have your hydrogen, your sulfur, and your oxygen. Okay, and so now you balance the numbers. So you have 2, 2, 1. You have 1. Over here you have 2, 1, 2, 1. And so you can start off at whatever point you want as long as you get all the same numbers. So let's start from the bottom up and we'll start with oxygen. So we're at 2 to here, right? So now we have 2 oxygens and 4 hydrogens. So now with the balance the hydrogens on this side at 2. So now you have 4 hydrogens and 2 sulfurs. So to balance this, you have 2 over here. So now you have 2 sulfurs and 4 silvers. And put 4 here, and you have 4 silvers. So now you see that everything's balanced. So let me erase this part. So this is your balance equation that you would need to do for stoichiometry. And the reason that you can't do proper stoichiometry without balancing your equations is if you try to, for example, find like the moles that you need of something, you can't find that out unless you realize that you have the proper ratios of all of your products that equal your reactants. Because you guys probably talked about the law of conservation of mass. You can't have more product if you don't have enough reactants. So if you want a certain amount of product, you're gonna have to add that many numbers of reactants to get that, because you can't spontaneously generate more of a product than you have in your reacting mixture. That's just that's a conceptual thing. Okay, so the problem asks what is the weight of silver sulfide right here. What weight of silver sulfide can be made from 1.23 milligrams of hydrogen sulfide? Okay, so basically your question is, milligrams of hydrogen sulfide. Okay, and so you see that now. Okay, so you start off, they give you 1.23 milligrams of hydrogen sulfide, right? Remember we calculated, you have 2 of these, right? Or first, sorry, let me start over and let's balance this into grams. And so you have 1 gram per 1,000 milligrams, right? And so then using your calculator or like your knowledge, whatever, you know this is equal to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 0.0000123 grams. 1, 2, 3. I think that's hard. So 0.00123 grams, right? Okay, so you got that. And so we to find the amount of moles, because you want to find moles first, right? Correct. What you're going to do is use the molar mass that you get from the periodic table. See, sulfur is about 32 grams, and hydrogen is 1 gram. So you have 2 hydrogens, 1 sulfur. So 2 plus 32 is 34. I have to actually check. No, I'm almost completely sure that's right. And so you have 34 grams of hydrogen, sulfur divided by the moles, right? So the grams cancel out. And so 0.00123 divided by 34 grams is, I should probably get a calculator. Okay, next time I do this, I'll be more prepared. But let me. TI-89. Okay, but so 0.00123 divided by 34. So that is 0.00036. You see that? Okay, so 0.00036 moles of H2S of hydrogen sulfide. Okay. And so now you're beginning with that. Okay, and remember the original question was how many grams of that can you get from your how many grams can you get of silver sulfide from hydrogen sulfide? And so now to figure out that question, you're going to add. You want to cancel out the moles of silver sulfide, right? So you're going to do a molar ratio, which you guys have talked about, right? You're going to do a molar ratio of silver sulfide to hydrogen sulfide. And you're going to do it in such a way that the moles of this cancel out. So obviously, in order to cancel these out, you're going to have to divide. So you have 2 moles from this 2 over here. Remember we bounced our equations? You have 2 moles of hydrogen sulfide for every 4 moles, right? You have 2 moles for every 2 moles of your product, of your silver sulfide, right? And luckily for us, the 2 moles just cancel out. 2 just cancel out, and these moles of hydrogen sulfide cancels out with the moles of this hydrogen sulfide. And so you end up getting, since it ends up being this divided by 1, 0.00036 moles of silver sulfide. Correct? And so we want to know not the moles, but the grams, right? So again, we use the molar mass of silver sulfide to find that out. So let's erase this, or actually now to find that out, we're going to this is moles, divide by the molar mass. Silver, I don't know, silver is about 32. I think silver is like 108 grams, and so 108 times 2 is 216, plus the 32 from sulfur is 248. I'll check this later. It's not, the numbers are important right now. What's really important are just the method of problem solving that you're learning. And so you have these moles cancel out, and then so you get your grams of that, which is what you want, and then you calculate, you times this by that, and you get 0.008972 grams of silver sulfide. So from 0.00012 grams of hydrogen sulfide, from that, with this reaction mixture, you can get 0.008972 grams of silver sulfide. And it's important when you do, like, when you take your chemistry labs, you'll have to figure out how many moles of this. I want this many moles or this many grams, so how much reacting product do I need? Oh, that looks ugly. Okay, sorry, that was not help. But yeah, so this is my first problem. So if I didn't explain something too well, or if I took too long to explain something, just let me work out the kinks in my teaching, because I haven't gone to school for teaching people. But yeah, that's how you do it. And yeah, so all right. Let's actually, I'm just gonna make another video for another problem, because having one large video is not. Yeah. So okay, I'll see you in like 2 seconds.